What's up, boys and girls? So today we're going to be talking about the Volkswagen GTI. Now this car is a very big deal for teenagers all over the world. Now this car comes with a 4-cylinder 2.0 turbo engine, which makes 217 horsepower. Now what makes this car so special is it's a front-wheel drive car, and it has a fair amount of power that we're gonna obviously test later on. But it's very wanted by teenagers everywhere because first of all it's a very easy car to operate. This is my first time to ever drive this car, and I haven't felt like it's difficult to control anything. I mean, looking through the mirrors, the drivability of this car also is very simple. Now this car comes in both automatic and manual transmission. This is obviously the automatic transmission, and the automatic transmission comes with a Tiptronic gear shifters. Now this car is the 2013 model, and surprisingly it has a lot of features that most of the cars that you see, the more recent models like the 2016s, 2017s, they don't come with these kind of features. So let's get into these features. Now before we discuss the features of this car has it really has good numbers. It has 217 horsepower, it's turbocharged, so the car should really be able to perform well. Or according to Volkswagen back in the day when this car came out, they said that this car does 0 to 60 miles in just 6.5 seconds. Now that's not completely bad, but the performance of it we can't really judge until we try, right? I'm glad you asked. You want to see how it performs? Because we're going to do that as well. So let's talk about the features of this car. Now this car comes here with very interesting buttons, I have to say. You have obviously the traction control button. You press on that, you get the traction control off. You have a parallel parking. According to the owner of this car, it parks the car for you. When you press on that, guys, this car comes with a lot of features for obviously considering how old it is. It comes with really interesting stuff. So obviously we have over here is the traction control button. You press on that and you get the traction control deactivated. And you have here, which is very interesting. You press on this button according to the owner, and the car will put itself in a parallel park position. Isn't that very cool? To the next button, you have obviously the parking sensor, which is very common between cars nowadays, but for a 2013 model, that's actually very good. Now, this is something that I admire about this car. When the owner showed me this, I was actually very interested in it, and this is what it is. So all you're gonna have to do is do this, and look at that. Isn't that amazing? I really like it. Now this car comes with two driving modes. You have the normal drive mode, and you have an S, which stands for sport in this car. So we're gonna try launching both, and we'll see how good the car is. Let's go. Give it some brakes, some gas, and out we go. Lots of lost traction, but you know, the car is obviously you can't really feel so much torque, but the car does have a lot of power. So now we're going to try it in sport, and we're going to see what it's all about. So now we're going to launch the car in sport, and we'll see how it performs. Let's go. Very aggressive. The turbo is not like the other car. This turbo is actually very responsive, which is in my opinion it's a lot better than the other car. But does it have as much power? No, it does not. However, for its class, this is one of a kind. Now, what do I mean by this car is one of a kind? This car has 193,000 kilometers. If you can take a look, 193,000 kilometers. Now obviously the car is quite old, but it's not that old. According to the owner, the car he's had it for a while now, and he hasn't faced any problem. which means that this car can really take a beating. And what does that mean? You can obviously be a teenager and own this car, and own it as a first car. Now the thing is, when we all get our first cars, we all have to go through, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to change this, I want to change that. So obviously, getting, let's say, an BMW M4 is not really a good option for your first car as a teenager. Why is this car good as a first car? Now I'm going to tell you that. Now I just want to walk you through what I said again. Now this car is a 2.0 engine, 4 cylinders, and it's turbocharged. Now that is not too bad for a first car, especially with 217 horsepower. That is obviously very good. So if we would do a comparison between this car and the Ford Mustang EcoBoost, I would obviously recommend getting this car. This car is safer to drive since it's front wheel drive. The other car was rear wheel drive, which could get dangerous if you don't really know exactly how the car functions and how to take control of the vehicle. This car is also very good to own as a first car, because we all know if this is your first car, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff that you shouldn't do, and you're going to need a lot of repairing and a lot of fixing. But Volkswagen have your back on this, right? They made all the parts pretty cheap for you, so you can go destroy your car and go back to them and be like, hey, can you fix my car? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, what did you do? And then you obviously have to explain what you did. If you're not going to go back to Volkswagen, you can go to any garage and then they'll fix your car, because this car is known to be really a teenage car, a kid car for, you know, kids who don't really understand the world of cars, because obviously they haven't had much experience, because maybe they just got their license, it's their first car. So yes, this car is a 10 out of 10 for a first car. Now obviously don't go destroy your car. Take care of your car, love your car, because this is something that you know, as long as you treat it well, it'll stay with you for the longest time possible. So be good to your car, and it'll be good to you, that's for sure. Now let's analyze what we talked about today. So this car is a automatic with a dual clutch. So dual clutch is these things you see over here, and the plus is for upshifting, the minus is for downshifting. So it's pretty simple, and you obviously don't need to use them as long as you don't. So if you're just gonna put your car in drive, you can cruise around. If you prefer to use them, you can put your car in sport and you can start using them, or you can use them also in drive mode. Now we have 2 more things left to do. We're gonna walk around the exterior, show you guys how it looks like, and then we're gonna check out that exhaust and what it's all about. So let's go.
Take